Hello, and today we're going to be going over homework assignment 8. Okay, so in homework assignment 8, it wants us to accept a skill from the user and input it into a list, basically. For this one, you're basically using JavaScript from my HTML file. So if you go to my homework, it's supposed to be homework 8, I just haven't changed it yet. This isn't the one that's going to be on my website. But anyway, when you reload the page, make sure everything's new. We have right here a thing that is right under the skills and projects, which says add any skills that have not been added. Let's say I forgot a skill and you know me somehow or something. I don't even know. You can add a skill. Say, learn C programming. Learn C programming, okay? Add skill. We have a thing that creates a list right here that adds a skill, and it'll stay on the website for yours as long as you don't keep reloading the site. So we have that right there. If you go to the code for it, it's going to be right here. And this is going to be right here in the add skill. We have a constant that says add skill, and it's basically just getting the element ID, add skill, blah, 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 skill input. Here's the function for it. So if it clicks the event and listener for the skill button, which is basically this add skill button, it will add a list and basically append whatever you put in the list. So yeah, that's pretty easy for that one. The second one, I want us to create a for loop for the project listing, which basically is just a for loop of any projects that I've been doing recently. So if we go over to here, we have ongoing projects. Right now it just looks like it's displaying it, but in the JavaScript we use a for loop for this. So if we go over to our code, it's going to be right here we have the display projects, which is basically just saying, it's a constant document element ID, which is just your ID in your HTML, and it says projects dot for each, where it's basically just pointing at the for each thing that I have already created. But basically, what it's doing is it's saying for each project, and then it shows an arrow, which is basically just saying how many times it's going to run for the project. But if you go up here to my projects, you'll see that I have 3. So it's going to run 3 times. So that arrow is basically just saying how many times is it going to run for the project. And I have 3 of them, so it's going to run 3 times. Anyway, when you go over there, it's going to create a div, and then this div, it's going to create in the project, that's the name of it. It's going to create a column for each div, which is the reason why it's on the thing. It shows as 3 different columns. But anyway, when you go back to it, it's going to create these are just the deadlines for them. That's basically showing if it's ongoing or completed. And then this is the math for it, which is one of the other things that it wanted to show in my file. But basically, that's the code for it. It's not that hard, but yeah, that was pretty easy for that part. Okay, so now it wanted us to create a resume download tracker, which is basically just tracks how many times that you download it. So if you go all the way down, you'll see that it says this resume has been downloaded 0 times because it's a live server. Or not a live server. It's just every time you reload, it's going to always show 0. But when you download it, we still have our alert from last assignment that says download successfully. You'll see that it shows 1 now. If you keep downloading it, it's going to keep adding. So basically, I need to delete all of those, by the way. But anyway, when you go to my code, you'll see the math behind it right here, where it says to download all this. Basically, download right here. It's a variable that we have. So yeah, that was pretty easy. And then the last part we have is creating a table right here for education experience, which I created right here. This was all made through JavaScript. So when you go to JavaScript, it will show a table. We'll have a function called createTable, which takes the data, the container ID, and the headers, which is basically just the element ID. It's creating a table, table head, table row, Obviously, we're not going to use JavaScript for tables. It's not really that good, but for this, it wanted us to create one for it. So yeah, that is my code. Thank you for watching.